Imagine you could know everything you need to know to be able to have the guts, like me, to post up to 150 videos on YouTube. As a result, you do not turn to bad habits when you're bored. And you also, in the process, start finding your purpose while doing what you love. And then there's you. You don't seem to be able to conquer these addictions. You feel lost and in need of advice. Well, I'm here to help you fix that. So here are 7 things that has helped me make my YouTube content scaling from 0 to almost 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, while ultimately growing closer to God in the process. Here we go. So step 1 is step outside the cave. And this is the most analogy kind of driven step that I'm going to talk about. But what I want to give you the picture of is a cave. Think of if you lived in a cave and all you knew was that cave. There was a little bit of light at the end of the cave that was always there, but all you knew was the cave. Your eyes were adjusted to the light of the cave. You thought the whole entire world was that cave. You only knew that cave. You're born in that cave, raised in that cave. You've always been in that cave. Your family has always been in that cave. So you know nothing about it. And now your best friend, he walks outside. He walks and walks and walks. He's just walking for like miles. And he walks outside. He gets outside of the cave. And now what does he see? He sees trees. He sees life. He sees birds. He sees animals running around. He sees a village in the distance. He sees other people smiling and laughing. And he wonders why he hasn't smiled as much as they are right then. He looks around. He sees the sun. He breathes in the fresh air. He takes it all in, and he's so surprised. He's so surprised he had never known this kind of life. And now he runs back to his best friend. He runs back to you, and he says, I know the answer. I see the outside. There's this whole place full with life, this whole place full with joy, this crazy kind of world, and a land full of opportunity. That's what, America is called now, but think of or what it used to be called. But he finds a land of opportunity because he was stuck only in this one cave. He lived in this cave and he didn't see the potential that was on the outside of the cave. And so he tries to get you out of the cave and you don't listen because you're so used to the cave. And when he's on his way back, he's tripping, he's falling because his eyes are now adjusted to the outer world. And they see him tripping. His whole family, your whole family sees him tripping and they're like, what is up with you? Why are you tripping? You should be used to this. This is what you've always been in. Where were you? I was outside in this outer world. He explains the birds, he explains the air, he explains the trees, and they think he's crazy. They think he's crazy, and that's how it's with you. That's how it's going to be with you and your habits when you start to improve. You're going to say, there's this thing called the gym. There's this thing with these crazy books, or there's this thing with this meditation, or this way that I got closer to God. People are going to think that you're crazy. People are going to not listen to you. And I know that was a long story, but that story can go a long way. If you start applying that story and start applying that, you need to work on pulling people out of that cave. You need to figure out ways to actually be like, come on, let's get out of this cave together. I want to show you what is on the outside. Think about ways that you can do that. And as you build, as you work on things in life, and when you find solutions, you can start pulling people with you out of that cave. Now, step 2 is it's not about you. I know this is so simple. so simplistic, and you might want to just click off because it sounds stupid. But I promise you, it is not stupid. It's not about you. Gen Z thinks that it's all about them. We're taught that it's all about us. Disney, you watch a Disney movie, and it's like, here, I'll give you an example. Spider-Man. This is not Disney, but the old Spider-Man. He is chasing MJ. He thinks about MJ all the time. He just is in love with her, and she's not even in love with him. And because he's so in love with her for so long, then she ends up falling in love with him. That's not how the world works. When you chase a girl, you creep her out. You don't attract her. And so what that movie is centering you on is that it's all about you. It's all about what you think. You gotta center yourself on what you know and what you love and continue down that path. But a lot of times, what you know and what you love, you're stuck in the cave, right? You're not in the right place. And so we're taught that we can have a fairy tale dream life without working hard, without actually doing anything. But the fairy tale dream life, there's no such thing because our world is broken. But we can have an amazing life with God and with others when we share what God is doing inside of us and we inspire other people to do the same and to walk in their own likenesses. And so what I do is I encourage you guys to keep building yourself. And what does that do to me? It builds me up because I'm doing exactly what I am supposed to do. So it's not about you. Never think it's about you. If you do think it's about you, you're going to fall apart, you're going to crumble. And you are a fool if you think the world revolves around you. Now, step 3 is beliefs drive action. This is something that is so important, that is so amazingly important that I never paid much attention to before I was 18. But beliefs drive action. When you believe something, it drives the actions that you take. And so I thought that I was bad at YouTube. I thought that I didn't know how to create videos and that I needed to study all of this stuff. And the reality is that I just believed I was bad, and that resulted in me being bad. I believed that I knew these YouTube secrets, but I still didn't know how to create a video. And so that resulted in me making these videos that were altered to that belief that I knew these kind of things, but I still didn't know how to create a video. And so it was all over the place, all these beliefs. And the only way that I started getting these beliefs down was actually 2 days ago, like solidly. I have been working on beliefs for a while, but I turned 18 2 days ago, and I got this little journal. And I started writing my beliefs in it. I started writing my beliefs now and the ones that I want to have later on. I did like a column, a half and half column. One side, my beliefs now, other side, my beliefs later on, hopefully. And then my dream outcome lifestyle, the things that I do, what I believe inside of there. I dedicated a whole journal just to my beliefs because I know that if I can believe something, if I can know it for a fact, when I can change my beliefs, then I can change my reality. And so think about what beliefs are actually stuck inside of you that are actually altering your life in a negative way. Maybe it's something you're taught when you're younger. Maybe it's something a teacher said to you. Maybe it's something a friend said to you and it stuck with you forever. Think about how that is affecting you, how that's making you broke, and start actually working on that in writing. And now step 4 is educate others and be fulfilled. I already kind of touched on this a little bit, but educate others and be fulfilled. So what we're taught on YouTube is that YouTube is an entertainment platform. We look at YouTube and we see Mr. Beast. We see stuff like that. Not education, complete entertainment, right? And so the thing is entertainment is a fun, crazy thing, right? It's fun, crazy, high dopamine thing. But you see that the most fulfilled creators, the most fulfilled people, even in the Bible, are the educators, right? Paul, Jesus, you have like all these people that took God's word, or took wisdom that they're learning throughout all of history, not even just the Bible, but you also have on YouTube, you have all these kind of different things, and even people who mix entertainment with education, but they mainly focus on the education. It's because they're finding that education is so important, because they're sharing what's inside of them, what they know in their mind and their body, and what they have been taught, right? And they're sharing that with the world, and they find meaning and they find purpose in that, because they're helping others come to know the knowledge that they came to through their gift from God. And so if you're able to educate others when you see that you have learned something, even if that doesn't mean that you're creating video, even if that just means that you're telling somebody else, telling a friend, I learned this about this, and you're helping them get into, like, for example, I really struggled with just taking hot showers all the time. I never took cold shower, even though I was told that cold showers would be good. Now I started seeing acne all over my face, and so I started taking cold showers, and now the acne started disappearing. I said, whoa, that's crazy. And so then my friends who didn't want acne also, I told them about cold showers. Not saying like, hey bro, you have acne on your face, but saying, hey, I found this solution. You should try taking cold showers. And now all my friends are taking cold showers. And now what is the result? We all have clear skin. And so I took a solution that worked for me. I applied it by telling my best friends about it. And now they are taking action in that. They are improving their lives. And now I just improved everybody's lives by learning one thing. By learning one thing, I improved everybody's lives. Isn't that crazy? So do this and you will find fulfillment. Now, step 5 is develop a solid workout schedule. A solid workout schedule. I started doing 6 days a week before I was 18, right? But I was on vacation, like I've had a few days off. But all this goes to say is that having a solid workout schedule up until I've been 18 and onward is going to be such an important thing, and has been such an important thing to my mental health and to what I believe. And to all of these, it reflects all of these. Because as a man, at least I know as a man, because I'm a guy, right? I'm not saying this in any mean way to girls, right? Not discluding. But, my whole channel is centered around men. I have seen that working out, for me personally, working out the body has affected my mental health like crazy. Has affected how I think about myself, what I think about myself. And so if you can get into the gym, you're going to see this, and you're going to realize that it was so worth it that you stepped into a gym. And so if you do not go to the gym, that would be the number one thing that I'd recommend out of any of this. If you don't read your Bible, that's something that's so important. If you don't pray, that's something that's so important to actually start doing, right? But if you can get into the gym and you feel like you don't want to do Bible time, maybe you'll come to the realization that you actually can stay consistent in Bible time, because the consistency in the gym and all the rules that you learn in the gym can apply to all of life. And so start getting in the gym, start working out, and I promise you that it's gonna be worth it. Now, step 6 is write it down on paper. Write it down on paper. Every idea, everything that comes to mind, all of creation has been made for us to live in, right? Like, there's plants all over. There's grass right by me. There's trees, there's birds, there's everything. It's all creation and it's all beautiful. It's all meant for us to take and to create with creation. God creates with nothing. We create with what he created for us to create with. Isn't that so cool? And so when you have an idea, it's coming from God. Let it come from God. Let the ideas come from God and come from within. And the best way to let it come from within is to separate from screens. You're not using ChatGPT. All I do is I set down my journal in the grass and I start writing. I start writing out YouTube ideas. And as you've been on YouTube for so long, you start noticing patterns and how to write titles and all of that. Once you get that down, once you get down that practice, you can sit down in the grass. You can just write down ideas that are applicable to your audience that can help other people. And this has been the best way for me to come up with ideas, best way for me to write down my beliefs, the best way to make schedules for myself, the best way to make habits for myself, best way to reflect is just writing. It's just writing. And so start writing. And I promise you that you're gonna start to improve. This has been dramatically affecting my life since I started writing. I started journaling when I was 16, but it was so inconsistent. And as I went, I started being more consistent. And I started writing about when I was depressed. I started writing about how I was depressed. And I can flip back there. I can see why I was depressed, the things that I was believing. And it all goes back to beliefs. It's crazy. Now, step 7, the final step, is separate from others if needed. Separate from others if needed. What I mean by that is there's certain people that you've been spending time with that have been holding you back, or certain things that you're doing with certain people that are actually affecting you in a negative way. I used to play video games with a good friend, and it was all the time. That's like what we did every time we saw each other. And now I had to separate from that. I didn't want to separate from that, but I had to separate from that for a time because I didn't want to play video games anymore, right? And so there's certain things that people are going to want you to keep doing with them. That's kind of your crutch in that relationship. And so once you can get out of there, you're going to see that you can grow and that you can become the actual man that you want to become. And so I hope these 7 steps helped you. I hope that you got something out of it. If you need to skip back, or I hope that you took notes, because a lot of that was really important for you to be able to apply to your own life. And if you'd like to join the free community, I have a Telegram community right below, and you can join that. It's completely free. I'm not selling anything in there. I have a personal brand building video in there. I recorded on Loom, like a screen recorder, and I went through a whole presentation on how to build your personal brand. And so I hope this video helped you, and if you'd like to build a personal brand on YouTube, I have the video right down below in the free community. I'll see you there. Okay, bye.